All right, everybody, it's Monday, July 8th, 2024. After last week's 4th of July and all the weirdness of the trading that week. Uh, so let's dive in here. I'm not going to go through our automated trading every day just because I want to make this video a little shorter. And I'm really just tonight doing it so that I can do my homework. So a couple things that I worked on over the weekend are really some targets for this monthly chart to show it's, and I tried to get some stats done, but the software, my programming skills aren't great. But you can see here, this is all the markets combined, and you can see that in a lot of cases, and not all the cases, but um, this would have been a buy signal that got stopped out, so that one wouldn't count. This is a buy signal that actually got followed up by at first a gray bar, so that wouldn't have got stopped out. And this would be a continuation bar. But you can see that off of this buy signal, the first one, that we would have gone up one, two of these, or three of these targets, and we would have hit the third target, and then we would have got stopped out. So what I'm looking at here is where places to take off some money, collect some profits, and hold on so you can potentially get a big trade, which would possibly be like, well, here's one. Again, it's only three targets after a stop out, so it's almost to the third target. And the question is how many times when you get, so here's one where you have all five targets and they all got hit. How many times do you only get one or two or just three targets? And that's the math I'm trying to run. I think the real answer is that you hit two targets most of the time, just from looking at it, but I want the computer to tell me the actual math. So um, that's what I'm working on for targets. The second thing I'm doing is I've modified the code for the trend ribbon, which there's multiple ways of doing that. This trend ribbon was based on the Simple 30 system that we've been building together, and modified to really what the candle bars colors are over on the right hand side here. Um, so we've got, now it's not exactly that, but it's nice when they kind of all line up. So this is a modified view of what the trend ribbon looks like, and in conjunction with the Simple 30 system, which is what the color bars go off of, although it's actually Simple 15. Um, it, when everything lines up well, it's good. And then we got the 21 and the 34. So the 21 is the orange line, the 34 is the blue line, and then you got the 50 and the 100, which when they're aligned like this, you have a definite trend, uptrend. And when they're aligned the opposite way, that you're in a downtrend, which is a lot of what's going on here, except you didn't get them quite all the way aligned. But back when things really fell apart, you're under price, under the trend, under the 50, and under the 100, and under the 20 and 34. Sorry, 21 and 34. So, which makes for a good view of how the markets, will react to these moving averages. There's nothing magical about the moving averages. They just happen to be ones that a lot of the market participants use. So it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, all right. Anyways, those are things I'm working on, trying to clean up the charts to make them look better. I use these dotted lines. We could get rid of those. I use those to trade against when we're on pullbacks. So, and I've explained that in the past. I certainly use my 2 ATR as a stop indication, and especially, or an indication of you've gone too far and you'll snap back the other way. Um, yeah, so that's what we've been working on. So today the S&P 500 went up 5 points, and it continues to be green. And I don't know why the trend ribbon and everything doesn't show up on that chart, so we'll flip back to the ES. Bugs me that all the indicators don't work on all the positions, but that's alright. So we've got above the trend ribbon, above the 21, above the 34, above the 50, and above the 100. So, and everything's in alignment. And we are now at 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5 potential targets. And I won't say you couldn't have a 6th target, because you could. But literally these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times the risk from the entry point, which is, it's really not necessary. Yeah, it's the close actually to this, to the where the moving average is. So if you actually got stopped out immediately, that would be generally what your risk is, and I've just multiplied it by 5. And it calculates literally off of the closing price of the previous bar. So, and by the way, those targets all get transposed over onto the right hand side, and they're the same numbers, and they show up on the right hand side as well. So I think they're pretty handy. I think it's going to be a great place to look at for targets, and for watching like the overall market and when you think it might roll over. The Russell today, IWM, I was giving it one more day and it bounced. So everything, generally speaking, is good. The 21 needs to get over the 34. We are above the trend ribbon. We have momentum going in the right direction down here. Obviously, we wouldn't be in this position if the monthly chart didn't allow it to be. And so this thing looks like it could work out, and if it does, it's going to be pretty good. We got this triangle pattern going on, and we'll see what happens. So I'm not married to the trade, so if we need to, we'll get out. What else? That's the Russell. The Russell futures look like this, real similar. You can see we haven't even come up to even think about hitting these targets yet. The Dow is continuing to go. It's green. We're above all the right stuff, in the right direction. A little hiccup with momentum today, but not a big deal. The Dow actually went down 31 points. Green bars. Everything's still fine. The Nasdaq's the one that really continues to take off. The Nasdaq today was up 50 points, or 0.28%. And we're at the third target. Let's go back to the Dow. So if we continue to go higher from here on the Dow, we're going to break this 40,000 again, if we'd happen to get up to the third target. All right. That was the Dow, the Nasdaq, and let's look at IYT, which is the Transportation Index. Sorry about that. Um, all right. This one's a little messed up. We're under the ribbon. We're a red candle. We're under the 50 and the 100, which are the red lines. They turn red when they're in the bearish direction. So I was thinking IYT was going to pick up and possibly go bullish, but right now it's got a lot of headwind. The 21's under the 34, and we've turned red over here on the monthly chart. Now we're only a week into the monthly chart, so that's not it's not really a thing yet. It's not a full candle is what I'm trying to say. Oil. Alright, let's look at oil. That's interesting. Oil is certainly an impulse wave after a pullback, and this is what I've been talking about trying to get into. So I'm going to be looking for a place to get in and ride this thing hopefully higher. It's not there yet for my liking, so but it is getting there. That's what I have these lines in here for. Pullback all the way to the 50 would probably be too much, but a pullback to the 21 and a buy would make sense, and it would also be under the trend ribbon, which would be an aggressive trade. But like Best Buy, I did that from there, and we're already up really nicely. I did that on this pullback here. I think I had to wait 1 or 2 days of you know, being underwater before it took off. But it's a similar, I mean, we had an impulse wave and a pullback, and that's what I was buying into. And now we got to turn back green again and go. And our moving averages are all in there, lined up nicely, and all we got to do is get above the ribbon and turn green. And it aligns nicely with the monthly chart. And gold, since we're here. Alright, looks like everything's starting to line up again for gold. The 50, the 100, the 34, the 21, the trend ribbon's in the right direction. I don't like the future cloud being so bearish, and we've gone quite a distance on the monthly chart already for all the targets. Technically hit all 5 targets. Look at what happens when you hit the 5th target. You get all these upper wicks here, so that's a lot of like the whole market saying it's gone too far. So alright, that's enough of that. I think BITO might be one to look at. So BITO's pulled back hard. Glad I got out when we did. And it's lines up with the monthly chart nicely. So, alright. Coinbase. Coinbase has been a good stock. It's got earnings in a couple weeks. So, alright, nothing to look at there. Alright, last but not least, well, let's go here because it's what we do. The VIX, let's not use the Coinbase, let's use the ES. So everything's running, the VIX is down and going sideways, and it just is the same old story. Now, back to here. Bullish. And finish this up. The industrials didn't move. The NYA up 0.97%. The transports didn't move. The Nasdaq up 0.86%. The S&P 500 up 0.36%. The S&P 100 minus 1.56%, and the NASDAQ 100 minus 1.67%. And that's what I got for you for the night. Take care, good trading, and have a good evening.